long we can do this.
Okay, we are live. Oh, I forgot to play the music. I'm a dipshit.
Are we skippers live?
Did you make sure that you're not mute this time?
We'll do it live.
I'm 100% sure I'm not muted this time.
5 seconds later, we're muted.
Oh no.
No, I just checked. I'm not muted.
Okay.
There we go.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right. Hi, Alfonso.
Alfonso!
Astolfo, what are you doing here?
We're gonna be doing the Chris Chan stream again. I'm gonna let some people get in here first, whichever people are awake this late at night. Oh, message retracted. Hiya, Anarchy the Angel. The sounds of children crying are the best song to have when talking about Chris Chan. Hello, Soggy Boy. Hello, True I don't fucking know your name.
True Solaris.
Solaris.
I think it's
Yes, Solaranite. That was my favorite Mystic Force team. Kill me.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about Chris Chan and his transsexuality today. I hope you guys are ready for this. Yes, I've played Sonic Mania. But back on topic, we're going to be looking at some articles talking about some shit that Chris Chan has done and said. And you, the audience, will get a chance to decide if you really think Chris is trans or not. So the first thing we're going to be doing is looking at Chris and gender on not Kiwi Farms, the Quickie, because I'm a dipshit.
Yeah. If we were gonna use Kiwi Farms, we should stop the stream now because it's not a place.
We see this quote from Chris. When I feel like I totally get grossed out even at an image of a penis, and recalling and focusing on vagina image in my mind usually works. I'm gonna turn the music down a bit. Just for my own sanity. Gonna turn the music down a bit. Similar to the topic of faith and topic of morality, Chris actually believes on gender and how it is classified and more complex than his stated beliefs for someone who preoccupied with gender identity. Chris displays a staggering ignorance of how either gender typically behaves, and his own views on both his own gender are extremely warped due to him taking stereotypes he is presented with in television and music at face value. Meaning that what Chris sees as female and what Chris sees as male is heavily impacted by how male and females are depicted in media.
Also, I would like to point out, just to clarify, it's something I know. It's not just with Chris's views on gender, but like in general, it seems like Chris has built their entire worldview off of terrible Saturday morning cartoons. I've noticed.
Oh yeah, that's what's heavily impacted Chris Chan. It's the main majority of Sonichu's writing.
Yeah, and what's worse about it is like, it's just it shows horribly because in the writing, in the way that Chris acts, and it's just
Doesn't help that he plays it straight.
We can see in this pic right here that Chris is using Chris from 2000 as a way to scapegoat all the terrible things he's done. Now since he's Christine, he can draw himself drawing past Chris in the nuts and fucking blaming all... He can blame all of his problems on past Chris when in reality he doesn't realize that he is past Chris.
I think you mean kicking in the nuts. You said drawing.
Oh, well, drawing himself, kicking himself in the nuts. It gets more convoluted the more Chris Chans there are. Because technically there's 3 Chris Chans now. There's the Chris Chan in real life, the Chris Chan in real life that enters the comic, and the Chris Chan from real life that exists within the universe of the comic. So it gets really fucking stupid.
Is this like GT Final Bout where there's more Gokus than anything?
Yeah, there's a lot of Chris Chans. And then there's past versions of Chris Chan, which is what we're dealing with now.
GT Final Fight was more tolerable than the Chris Chan comics.
Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover in history. Chris Chan.
I can't wait for Sonichu GT.
But I am fully
Oh,
convinced
yeah,
that one of the main reasons why Chris is now calling himself Christine is to escape from the identity and the negative repercussions of what Chris did as Chris.
What? Do you have any evidence to back up this claim out of curiosity?
This image right here, where he's saying, "You destroyed my whole life, Christopher Weston Chandler."
Christopher, not Christian. That's interesting.
So,
Chris-
like, if what do you pick up from this, Dove? Him drawing himself kicking him in the nuts from the past and saying literally, "You destroyed my life, Chris," not acknowledging that he is Chris.
Or at least was, just playing devil's advocate for a second.
He even says, "You need to respect all women or you will burn in hell forever." He doesn't acknowledge that that's him that he's saying to burn in hell forever. But meanwhile, this also contradicts past Christian shit, because you depict yourself as pure and looking for a woman to love, but now you're hinting that you weren't looking for that.
I mean, with anyone else, you could pull out the idea that maybe they've learned from their past, and that like, this is Chris Chan we're talking about, a human.
Yeah,
Well, even then,
that's
why would
exactly
you
the same
why would you put off all your problems on your past self instead of acknowledging that you did that at one point?
Yeah.
That's what we call immaturity.
Okay, now we're gonna read on to this. Let me see what this says. Chris repeatedly asserts his reverence for women and seems to have a comparatively glowing opinion of them, stating that he finds women empathetic. This is basically talking about how he sees women as being better than men because women are more emotional, and he thinks that men have to be the stoic type of stereotype. I'll sum both these up. He thinks that men have to be like the stereotype jock or Chad, and that's why he favors women, because he thinks women are more emotional and caring, and he sees all women as mother figures.
So he's a terrible sexist. But...
Yeah, he's a sexist without even realizing he's a sexist. He sees every man as being like his father and every woman as being like his mother. But it's not even that unexpected for him to see things like this, because he's lived with only his mom and dad forever. And now his dad is dead, but that wouldn't help him. He's never expanded past that mindset. Even his gal pals, he doesn't realize that none of them actually wanted to hang out with him, and they were just paid to hang out with him. That's not how actual women interact with people. Transvestitism and transgenderism. It has been speculated for a long time that Chris had gender issues. In 2005, he created Crystal, which is a gender swap version of himself and is his sister. It gets really weird, and some people hinted that he wanted to bang her. It was nenever proven.
So is that self-cest, incest?
It was never proven. But in 2011, one of the notorious trolls, Surfshack Tito, leaked photos of Chris cross-dressing, and this was way back in 2011. So he was really already having identity issues beforehand. But back then he wasn't calling himself trans. He was just saying that he liked cross-dressing. He never even thought of the idea of being trans. Like, you could say that back in Sonic 2 Girls, when he said that he thought of what if he was a woman, that could count as him questioning his gender. But even then, he says God gave him the package and he signed for it. He has to remember his true gender identity. So it's like, even then, you could say that Chris knew that he's a male and that he needed to act like a male.
And you could also say that Chris Chan never saw himself as a woman.
Yeah.
Time.
If I had to guess, I'd say when Chris dresses up like a woman, he's playing pretend. Just like when he dresses up like Sonichu.
Wait, did he actually?
Yes, he dressed up
did.
like Chris Chan Sonichu before.
Dove, we're talking about somebody who wore a Sonic Chew pendant.
I'm gonna... Okay, yeah, this is something that's important. One of the reasons why people believe that Chris transitioned, and this is something Chris actually admitted to and said himself, is that now since he's a woman and a lesbian woman, he basically appeals to all women. If they're a lesbian, he can say he's lesbian. If they're straight, he can say he's a male. If they're into trannies, he can say he's a tranny. He appeals to everyone, he thinks. He said this.
I want to make a couple points here because being the actual like trans woman in the audience in like the conversation here, I want to make a couple points. One, no actual trans woman would ever say that they're male. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Second, don't ever try to imply that tranny is some kind of third gender. It's not. That's not how that works.
Well, he didn't even call himself trans at that point in time. He was calling himself Tom Girl gender.
Oh, okay, that gave.
And if you look up what Tom Girl means, a Tom Girl is a boy who behaves typically girlish manner. Like, that's it. It doesn't say anything about them actually being a girl. It's just a boy who acts like a girl stereotype.
My point is, no trans person would ever say that they're their assigned biological sex to get laid. That's not. No trans person does that.
If you want to get laid, just get a fucking hooker. Jesus.
Oh, I didn't read this the first time, Dub. However, being transgender doesn't stop Chris from being prejudiced against transgender people. During his quest against Jeff/Francine, who is also trans, Chris called her a pretty little lady man, a he/she, and even Mistress Jeff. Showing that even in years into his transformation into a Tom Girl, Chris is still Chris.
Wow, that's extremely offensive and insensitive.
But we should respect Chris's. We should respect Chris's gender, though, right, guys?
Wait, stop. So, what you're telling me is that the mayor of Quickville wants people to respect their gender. But then we'll turn right back fucking around and disrespect other trans...
He only cares about when it benefits him and when people get to pity him and put him on a pedestal.
That is horribly offensive for several
That's
reasons.
always how Chris has been.
I know.
He's done that with his autism forever. If you go all the way back to his high school videos, which he uploaded, he was bitching about him getting an F in class, and he's like, "What do you have against kids with autism? This is bad. Why do you have to be offensive to autistic kids?" Like, he was using his autism as a crutch before he started using his transsexuality as a crutch.
I'm just saying that this entire thing is extremely offensive for several reasons.
Or hell, you could go back to the fucking begging videos where he openly tells people, "I gave you my mother," when fucking trying to beg. Like, he has to ruin his own plans by leaving. Like, he's like the Riddler. He leaves hints that ruin his own plans every time. He has to foil himself. Oh yeah, Dove, apparently you're a fucking idiot. Billy Mays is the mayor of Quickville, and always will be.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I meant no disrespect to the dead. I apologize profusely.
Okay, now, in the non-binary gender section, this is another quote from Chris. Oh. "I really did not know how many gender there are, but I am not and do not judge. Have a good day."
Wait, that contradicts earlier state. What?
What the fuck does that even mean in English?
Given how complicated a topic gender is to tackle, especially today, people tend to argue about what classifies as gender. Therefore, some people might argue that there exists more than two. In Chris's case, believing that he sees without giving a second thought, also concluded that there are really more than two genders, simply looking at a Facebook post about how Facebook is allowing their users to identify themselves as 58 different genders, taking it to mean that there are 58 genders. The next month, Chris is interviewed on the same topic and is asked how many genders there are, and simply says that there are 58 because Facebook said so.
Christ.
Couple things. One, Chris, you can't be you can't openly mock someone's gender identity and then immediately a couple weeks, months later say you don't judge. That's not how that. No. Second, you're using Facebook to jurisdict your answer. You know, Facebook, a website that is now a living meme and every day becoming closer and closer to just being MySpace 2.
Okay, so all this is going to talk about is Sonic 211 stuff, which isn't out yet. Them talking about how Chris turned his character into a female in the comic as well. It's not really important. It's really not important. So we're gonna click off this, and we're gonna go to I am a male lesbian. I am a male lesbian intersex transgender, Chris Chan.
There's so many things wrong with that fucking sentence, and it hurts.
Just to keep it clear on the topic, I am a male, lesbian, intersex transgender. You can Google lesbian identified male for more info on the subject. I am most sincerely into women, and I am female in my soul, like Randy Stair. If you still persist, read my extensive response in the comments of this post. I am fully supporting human rights and equality regarding of my own emotions of some people, and I fully supporting same-sex marriage as well as in the same regardless. People do not ask me any questions. Just feel glad that I am on your side now. I'm sure they feel worse that you're on their side now, Chris.
Yeah, I'll actually confirm that. We hate you, Chris. We really do.
That's why you were kicked out of the Sonic fandom, and now you're gonna be kicked out of the Brony and Tranny fandom, if there is a Tranny fandom.
Okay, I wouldn't call it a fandom, but here's the thing.
I'm calling it a fandom.
Ignore that. Everything about what Chris just called himself offends me. And I'm starting to think that you only brought me to the stream to torture me. I'm not here to be your transgender representation for this stream. I'm just here to suffer. That's why you brought me.
I just want to know if you think Chris is actually trans, because if anybody would know if Chris is trans, it'd be a trans woman themselves.
Yeah.
And with how often Chris has to mention that he's straight, and how often he does mention that he's a male, how often he mentions that he is into women, the fact that he has to emphasize lesbian, do you really think that he's trans, just from what we've seen so far?
Well, to break that down...
Also, the fact that he said that he's spiritually a woman, and he didn't mention biologically, or, like, anything like that, it's also another red flag on my book, that he had to say spiritually a woman.
Because, well, here's the thing. Like, I understand the fact that, you know, taking a step back, there's like the whole, there's like the dissonance between the identity and the biological sex that one is born with. You know, trust me, I know this. But usually, and this is a big usually, trans people don't actively tell people their assigned sex at birth. That's not a thing they do. They especially don't say they identify as shit like male identified lesbian. That's not a thing.
Or Tom girl.
Yeah, that's also not a term.
Would you say that my assumption of Chris just hopping to whatever will get him the pity points and acceptance?
I mean, so far it seems like that's unchallenged evidence on your part.
Because I've been paying attention to Chris for a long time, and I've never fucking believed his transsexuality shit. What I think it is that a bunch of white knights started seeing Chris's behavior, and they want to believe that Chris is a victim, and they want to put this label on Chris so he can be left alone. When in reality, he's using them, and he's using the identity of being transgender to get benefits in life, just like he has with his autism in the past.
Yes. So what you're basically telling me is that he is taking an identity of people who literally, the identity of from actual people who actually suffer from this and have to deal with this on a regular basis and all the obstacles that come with that, and using it for pity.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is horribly offensive.
And if you look in his reply, he says that one of the main reasons why he doesn't like being a male is because he doesn't like the barbarian traits of males. And he goes on to talk about the stereotypes of men and females, and that's how he sees male and female. It's not that he doesn't think that he was born into the wrong body because he's disgusted with his own body. He mentions that he doesn't like dicks, but he hardly ever mentions that that's the main reason why he wanted to transition.
Also, I want to make a point that I've met people who aren't trans. Like, I've met people who aren't trans that also think dicks look weird, because they kind of do. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But ignoring that factor.
I'm just gonna read this part. I get disgusted with damn dicks, including my own. I want to shove my face into the big hole below the urethra, known as the beautiful vagina, very much. I am feminine on the inside, male on the outside. My feminine soul is most attracted and aroused by women and their superior beauty. Male bodies are horrendous and offensive to me. Talk about going from middle of hell's deep on the beauty and ugly, the mother, the mom, the meter. I don't even know what the fuck he's trying to say there. Female and male on female, and female on what equals lesbian identified male? What? No more questions though. Oh, hi, my Nausicaa's here. We're done with that part now. Now we get to talk about Chris Chan and the Tom Girl saga.
Oh, joy.
And just like last time, there's only one video I want to click on.
Kurome, are you even surprised at this point? It's fucking Chris Chan.
No, we already did this stream once, so he already knew all this shit was gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
These are the photos that were leaked by Surfshack Tito.
Enjoy your suffering.
I'm actually gonna be sure that this notepad is open because I want to be sure that I get something blocked out that's gonna appear in a bit. There's gonna be something here that I can't show on the stream, and I want to be ready for that. There we go. Okay. The only video that matters is this one. Yes, that is Chris Chan in a sports brawl and a skirt, standing out in the woods talking about how cold it is.
Well, gee, I wonder why the fuck it's cold out, dumbass.
I don't know what the context for this little jig is, or him digging his own grave, but apparently someone convinced him to go and do this.
Wait. Digging their own grave sounds just like that's pretty representative of the entire existence of Christian.
Oh yeah, man, that's what you're looking at right now.
Oh yeah, and this whole time he's dancing around with like a really typical female voice, like not even trying to sound like a real woman. It's like me going, "Hello, I'm a woman." It's literally that. That's how he believes being a woman is. Like it's child's play for him. He's a kid pretending. He's not actually thinking he's a woman.
That also offends. That also irritates me, but that's because,
He ended up making another CD, Dove, and the CD was called CWC and the Hedgehog Tom Girls. We could listen to some lovely music from the CD later, but not right now. Not at this moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that and copy it. So just in case, we might. But he also made one of his hedgehog characters into a Tom girl, which later he retconned to be trans. But Robbie Sonichu was a Tom girl, but I think now he is trans. So you could see how the development worked with Chris Chan. When people started telling him that Tom girl wasn't a thing that he could use as a gender, he immediately switched to transgender.
I also want to point out that like Tom Girl isn't a gender. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
It's not like just and sorry, just this. This is frustrating. God.
Oh yeah. There's been multiple theories going around about why Chris is transitioning, but I think it's the next one that we'll talk about this fully. So I'll save it for this one. We start this one off with a brilliant quote. "Yes, I am a Tom girl, and I am damn proud of it. I have embraced and appreciate my feminine side. I am still totally heterosexual. Otherwise, I would have been full-blown you-know-what." And this is reference to a page of sonetry that Christian made that we'll be talking about later, where he said that he would rather go through a gender change operation than be gay. But I have been more self-confident, and I have a sweet sachet walk, hair, and wink and flirts. That's what he thinks it takes to be a woman, having a slutty walk and to have long hair and flirt with people.
That is.
He wants to be Rouge the Bat IRL.
Okay, couple things. One, that is offensive to trans. That is okay. Everything about that statement is offensive to transgender people. It is offensive to women in general. It is offensive to Rouge the Bat. Fuck you, Dylan. And finally, this is the most annoying part. That's incredible. I brought up earlier, but that's incredibly sexist, ignorant, and dumb. Just everything Chris just said is incredibly ignorant.
Yeah. Chris, as Chris went through his transition, he went down and got his driver license changed to female. He tried to get on gender, hormone replacement. The doctors denied it, so he had to go to get over-the-counter stuff. This is stuff that actually happened.
I mean, understand.
It took him all the way up to 2016 to actually start seeing someone that was qualified to talk about gender issues with him. And now he's actually on real hormone replacement therapy.
Granted, getting hormone replacement therapy is not easy. Just
Especially
putting that out
in the States.
Just putting that out there, and because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Trust me.
This is yet again another thing that Chris Chan has said, though. Back in 2011, so it was way before he called himself trans, is when he was still Tom Girl. He said, "Here's another way to consider me. I am a Ken doll. Any Barbie can dress in her." I think he means dress him, or he can dress in her clothes, whatever. You know, Chris Chan sucks at wording. Clothes, and I would feel most comfortable in them and model them for her. Come shopping with my sweetie. So he's saying he wants to dress like a woman for his woman, but he's saying he doesn't actually identify himself as a woman right there.
So
last line is creepy as fuck, by the way.
Is Chris not aware that there's a million fucking differences between being trans and being a crossdresser? Is that a thing?
He doesn't understand gender at all.
I've noticed.
That's why I think it's dumb that people respect calling him by his pronouns and shit.
Why? Because he's horribly offensive to the rest of trans people and is bogging down and is slightly delegitimizing them if we start legitimizing Chris.
This is one of the most popular theories, and I mainly agree with this one out of all the theories. Chris decided that being a man was too much work and involves often stressful activities such as getting a job and exercising. When his father died, Chris became the man of the house, and rather than becoming the man of the house and getting a job and earning to take care of the house and take care of his mother, he instead decided to become a woman because women are the people who get taken care of and women are the victims in most situations. So if he becomes a woman, he doesn't feel like he's a failure for not living up to his dad's expectations.
This is gonna get put on a fucking shirt if I keep saying it, but that's incredibly sexist because Chris, no offense, actually no, all the offense. Women still have to get jobs. Women still exercise. That's not just male.
Oh, he still exercises too. He exercises now. He's been lifting weights, and it's creepy as fuck. And I'll show you that video if you want me to later. But he hasn't applied for a job in over 4 months. I think it's safe to say.
10 years at least.
He hasn't applied for a job in a long time. We can go to a quickie and see the exact date later if we have to, but it's been a long time.
The sad part is I would fully believe that Chris Chan would think becoming a woman would make it so that they don't have to get a job because Chris Chan is that horrible, ignorant, sexist asshole. So, you know.
Yeah.
Like, after everything I've seen, I have a hard time believing Chris actually respects women.
See, in 2014, he was still using the Tom Girl thing. And on Facebook, he was saying that he was a Tom Girl intersex of a female soul with a male body and a tranny crossdresser.
Those two words shouldn't be put.
Then he switched immediately afterwards to lesbian in a male body.
Well, at least that's less bullshitty.
And now to go even further into the insanity, we're going to talk about ways that Chris Chan has tried to transition.
Oh, no.
Chris
Going.
Chris grew out his hair. That's a good one. That's a plus. He changed his clothing. That's a plus, but you could still be a crossdresser that way. So that's not very convincing. He shaved his eyebrows, which I don't know if that one's necessary.
I'm pulling out. I've never done that, and I've never met another person who's done that. So.
Oh yeah, David. Here's the good part. Are you still here, David?
Yeah, still
He
alive.
pierced his taint and let it get inflamed, which is the area between your ball sack and your ass. And while his taint was bleeding, he wore pads to imitate being a woman. And then he fucking stretched his taint out to make a makeshift vagina.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Demonetized.
Then he was trying to get his fans to fund a prosthetic vagina for him. He started wearing a vibrating bra. He started taking pills that weren't approved for hormone replacement. He would massage his breast, which I think that one is something you actually have to do. He started taking actual female vitamins later. Then he actually started doing real hormone therapy. And then he started eating prunes and putting soy sauce on everything. I don't know what the fuck's up with that one. I don't think that has anything to do with transitioning at all, but I guess he actually wanted to be a real soy boy.
Don't forget his subliminal frequency hypnosis.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He went through hypnosis to believe himself as a woman. He's been going through hypnosis telling him that he's a woman.
No offense, but you don't need that if you legitimately identify and believe yourself to be a woman. That is not that order of events. It's not how. God damn it!
Also, Chris has been trying to get his own voice, but he refuses to go to voice treatment, like voice therapy. And this article says, in particular, and I agree with it, he talks with a Mickey Mouse voice, and that's his woman voice. I would have preferred Donald Duck, because then at least he could terrify me even more.
So instead of actually like trying and and I understand the process is.
Oh, apparently My Now Sync says soy is supposed to have a ton of estrogen in it, but that's a myth though. Okay, so that explains the soy at least.
Yeah, that's also where the stupid, like the worst insult in the world, soy boy, came from, because that's the belief that soy makes you less manly or some
See,
shit.
I thought it was the fact that like a lot of the fucking cucks are vegetarian and soy is a substitute, or it's used with vegan products. So that's what I thought.
Now it makes more sense for you, Dylan. The context makes a lot more sense.
Dead naming. I'm neutral about people calling me Chris or Christine, but I would like for you good people would respect my chosen name. This was Chris. Then immediately afterwards, Christine, you fucking internet douche whore.
Okay, couple things. One, if you're neutral, you don't immediately go back and insult and get on to someone for calling you one of the two names you just gave them the option of. And two, aren't you the same fucker who on purposely for several times disrespected someone's gender and name?
Yeah, he used someone else's dead name just to fuck with them.
Yeah, and like, it wasn't even like it wasn't even like an accident thing where you didn't know any better. You did it several times on purpose, from what I gathered. And third, and also third, let's just add on to it, most trans people I know aren't okay with being dead named at all. Chris, just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
I'm reading all of this to see if it's anything we haven't talked about yet.
God, what the... How in God's name do people actually fucking buy this?
Because they're desperate for...
Oh yeah. That's also one of the reasons why Chris could have transitioned to being a woman. In all of his fantasies about being in a relationship or being married, he thought of someone else providing for him. And if he's the woman in the relationship, he could have someone provide for him and baby him and take care of him for the rest of his life.
I'll say it one more time because I feel like it's appropriate. That is incredibly sexist.
And I agree with this troll. This may be his last-ditch effort to deny his homosexuality. Which, for those of you who heard that Chris did come out of the closet and started being bi and trying to give blowjobs, that was false. He got trolled, and the trolls made him say that. And I totally believe that because the trolls have done this before.
Yeah.
And because he's Chris, he had to tell everyone the truth, and I bet you the trolls kept whatever they stole from him.
What they steal.
I don't know. He won't say. I'm guessing money, but that's just me. That's allegations. I'm not saying anything about it.
Maybe they stole their Sonichu medallion.
See,
He doesn't use a Sonichu medallion anymore. It's his ring still, and he still has the ring.
It's usually like online accounts that tend to get stolen like this. Like his PlayStation account got stolen. I remember his PlayStation account got stolen a while back, like a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah,
something similar to this.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But this is one last thing I wanted to talk about for this page. It's possible, and this is yet again another one of the theories, that Chris actually has a condition to where he doesn't hate his gender and he doesn't want to transition because he has gender dysphoria. It's possible that he wants to be a woman because he sexually gets off to being a woman. It could be a fetish. And that's what I'm thinking it is, because a lot of people that are cross-dressers have this condition, to where they get off to being a woman, but they don't actually want to be a woman.
Right. And see, and this is the weird thing. If Chris had just like straight up like just admitted that, I'd be far less fucking irritated right now. But the fact that Chris feels the need to instead parade around with an identity that is so obviously not something he identifies with, that kind of annoys me, you know?
Yeah.
And us knowing how Chris thinks, it's even worse, because now I'm fully aware of how ignorant, sexist, and straight up moronic this human being
well,
is.
now since we got into the bottom of this and we've finished all of that conversation, I'll try to play at least one song from Chris Chad and the Tom Girls.
Oh no.
For you, the lovely audience.
And this is where I leave. We were already demonetized when you brought up the taint. Okay, man.
Yeah.
No, we're just traumatizing
Oh.
all the fun.
I think it'd be really funny if we could actually get away with fucking monetizing this.
Well, to be fair, this isn't our channel, so we don't have to worry about it. Still,
I love that music.
Just imagine Dylan, like if Dylan could actually get this stream monetized, I'd be fucking...
This is art.
Shut the fuck up.
Pure art.
No, this is art with an F.
He's a real artist.
God.
Yes.
This is Sparkle Like You Mean It, Robbie's ballad.
Okay, so let's see. I'm just gonna grab...
God, I should have went to bed by this point.
I'm just gonna open the window and goodbye.
Well, this is it, guys. it's up to you at the end of the day. Do you think Chris is actually a male or a female, whatever? Do you want to use his pronouns? Me personally, I'm not going to. Dev, what do you have to say about it?
After assessing all the evidence and putting it together, I've come to the conclusion that more than likely, Chris Chan actually doesn't suffer from gender dysphoria and isn't trans, but is more than likely using the title to garner pity and to avoid having to, to avoid having to work, because in Chris's mind, all of that sexist, ignorant bullshit that they believe, he thinks being a woman means he doesn't have to work, which is incredibly horrible and sexist and ignorant. But if people in the audience want to continue to refer to Chris and believe this, I'm not going to stop you. End of the day, that's your prerogative. Chris obviously doesn't give enough of a fuck to stop you people.
David, what do you have to say, since you were in here for the briefest of minutes?
This is a literal fucking lol cow. He's been talked about to death for years. I cannot even act surprised about this shit he's pulled. Frankly, I'm just waiting for the sequel where he tries to fuck a PS4.
Okay, Kurome, what do you have to say about Chris and his identity?
See, similar to what I said last time that we tried this, honestly, I think when it comes to his motives for doing so, it's for the pussy, essentially. He wants a woman.
Oh yeah, it's for the China in the end. It's all about the love quest.
And partially it's so he avoids the hard work too. I think those two motives could sort of combine into each other, and that's what he's doing with. He's not transgender. He's not suffering from dysphoria in the slightest. It's just pussy and they avoid hard work. That's it.
Yeah.
So to end off this stream, basically, Chris has decided to use an actual identity, an actual thing that people deal with actual people deal with and suffer the obstacles of that come with that, an actual thing, and using it for pity, so that he can walk up and go, "One girlfriend, please," and no, stop, Chris, stop doing things.
I mean, that's the reality of Chris Chan. It's all just one big game. And the more these politically correct people indulge his insanity, the more he just gets his way. He'll never learn his lesson. He'll never grow up. He'll continue to act like a child as long as people keep giving him the attention he wants. At the end of the day, even if he is trolled, and I get that people feel bad for him being trolled, the trolls gave him his one dream. His dream of being famous. He actually thinks himself as a celebrity now, and now he literally gets people who are either giving him money out of pity or giving him money just to fuck with him. These people are supporting his life, supporting his habits, and if it wasn't for these trolls that people try to shame and people feel bad for Chris for, where would Chris be? Bob still would have died regardless, and Chris would have been helpless. He would be on the street homeless now. So for the people who want to talk down to the trolls, for the people who want to pity Chris, really it's thanks to the trolls that Chris is even where he is, or that Chris still has a roof over his head.
Also, I just want to bring up to the people who are being overtly politically correct and feel like they have to support Chris despite all the evidence we've just presented that shows to the contrary. Keep in mind that this shit Chris is doing is actually hurting so many different groups of people. Because of the shit, and justifying the shit hurts hurts people more. I'm surprised no one realizes that.
Mr. Chris the Wolf, he read my mind exactly. He said that picture is making me uncomfortable. It feels like he's looking at my soul. Masked Kitty said, "I don't pity him, honestly." Yeah, you shouldn't. And Minau Singh said, "I think Chris would have would be in a group home or an asylum." I don't know, an asylum. He's a little fucked up, but I don't know if he's clinically insane. I know he's on a show called Sonic Insanity, but I'm not so sure if he's 100% insane, a threat to himself or others. Because he has been checked out by a psychiatrist before, and they said he was fine.
Yeah. See, I think when it comes to the troll thing, there's very few times that they'll go too far. I think harassing him at the gym, for instance, that they're doing now, is a tad too far. But You are right in saying that when it comes to where he would be now about the trolls, yeah, like he'd probably be homeless about like quite a few of them.
Oh, no problem, Mask Kitty. I read all the comments at this point. We're just basically buying time, seeing if I can make the stream be an hour. As long as people keep commenting, I'll keep reading them.
So you can
Probably not.
Wait, guys, type stupid shit in the chat so Dylan can read it. Come on, let's do this.
It probably won't be because we're at the 45-minute mark, and I'll probably end it at the 50-minute mark.
People, quickly.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when Barb passes away? I don't know. That's the mystery of the homeless saga. The homeless saga has begun, and we're gonna see where it goes. That image makes my insights turn worse than hearing about animals killed brutally.
Yeah, I think when Barb passes away, Chris is gonna be homeless completely.
Oh yeah,
It's-
yeah. The homeless saga has began, and it might take 10 years for it to get a result, but it's gonna happen.
Here's the real question: what's gonna happen when Chris Chan dies?
Well, when Chris Chan dies, he's the most documented man on Earth. It's like that's just it. The end. People are still probably gonna talk about him. Let's be honest here. If Christian were to be trans, I don't know what you're trying to say there. Crap, that came out wrong. Forget it. Never mind. Is calling a girl a Jew worth attention? No, because I was taught that racism is power plus oppression, and Jews have all the power, so you can't be racist against Jews.
Yeah, you can't be racist.
It's a valuable lesson.
Yeah, it's a valuable lesson. That's what I was told about white people. It's a race. It's like power plus oppression. And Jews have a lot of power. They run Hollywood. So that means you can't be racist against Jews. It's totally legit.
I noticed things that,
Jews are
did he get
a
fucked with
religion,
lot?
not a
What
race.
the people think
Jews
about
are a
their life
religion
choices
and a
based on
race,
this.
Dove. But let's not talk about Jews today. We're talking about the man himself, Chris Chan.
I
No.
noticed things says, did he get fucked with a lot? Like, what did people get by wasting their lives trolling some deranged autistic? quite
They
a
got
bit,
all the
everyone.
lulz and keks. They got to be in his comic. They got to be a part of internet history. They got to laugh their ass off at a man getting his girl stolen by a dude in a pickle suit. They got to see someone break a medallion and shove it up his own ass. They got a lot of entertainment from him. It's not smart to have the pessimistic point of view with Chris Chan's life. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't be trying to troll him like this anymore, but you could still look back at it and laugh at the trolls. Like, I think the trolls have overall helped Chris more than they hurt him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Chris Chan, the man or woman. It was very enlightening. Oh, that's very nice of you, Fire Assassin. I hope you're talking about my tangent about Jews.
No,
We got-
don't need another blue spike.
We got 3 minutes left. No, we don't need another Blue Spike.
Hell no.
Even Blue Spike said that he regrets his shit, and if he could do it again, he would be more like Liquid Chris. We got 3 minutes left on the clock. I really doubt someone will say something entertaining enough for me to go on a 10-minute tangent, so we'll probably end this at the 50-minute mark. Tommy Wiseau is smarter being than Chris. I bet you $10 that if Chris were to meet a female version of him, it would be funny today, wouldn't even bang each other, and both have signs for looking for lovers.
Oh no.
I talked to him, he will not go anywhere near him after the whole thing. You talked to Chris? We need another Liquid Chris. I don't think Chris will fall for another Liquid Chris, to be honest. Honestly, Clyde Cash was cringier than Blue Spike ever was. No, Clyde was fucking funny. If you honestly believe that Clyde was actually serious with the shit that he said, then you're fucking retarded. Clyde was the obvious troll, and he was feeding into Chris's delusions, making him think that the society of people that were out to spite him were real. I've heard all of Clyde's calls. It's funny. Okay, Ola Pepsi Cola, no. Where's Liquid Chris? He's retired. He's retired and married. No, I talked to Blue. Okay. It'd be cool if I could talk to Blue Spike one day. I'd love to have Blue Spike on my channel.
Wait, Liquid Chris actually got married?
He got married to one of the female trolls.
Yeah, the one who's trying to fight his kids, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
Liquid's
so
a
what you're telling
doctor
me
now.
Is that through Chris Chan trolling, two people met each other
And got married. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Clyde was overrated. Blue Spike did what needed to be done. I think Clyde was the whole fucking thing that every troll was built on. Clyde was the main troll connecting all the other trolls together. If it wasn't for Clyde, all this shit wouldn't have happened. Don't underappreciate the man Clyde himself. Like, Clyde was the piece connecting all these other threads together. Don't underplay Clyde.
Plus, when it comes to Blue Spike going too far, like as we just said, even Blue Spike admits that Blue Spike went too far.
Yeah, and the trolls at the time were saying that he went too far, and some of the Chris Chan trolls left after what Blue Spike did. And to think that this is somewhat started because Chris was an idiot with Megan. It was started before that. It was just because Chris was acting weird at college and someone took a picture of him and posted it online. That's where it all started. If he wouldn't have been a fucking spurg out in public, no one would have even done this.
Can you imagine a timeline where Chris Chan never got made into a lolcow?
No. I can't picture a timeline like that, because that would be the timeline where Chris wasn't an autistic loser. And I don't see that timeline happening. I can do what ifs, but I can't make miracles.
Christian gives me more diseases than the Despacto meme.
Don't even bring up the Despacto meme here.
Yes.
No, it's
Someone found it.
No, it's pronounced Despacito.
I'm not even gonna give it the fucking. I'm not even gonna give it the treatment of saying its name correctly. No, fuck
It's a
that
Spanish-
meme.
It's a Spanish word. It means slowly.
Sup, Jet Set Sonic. We're in the final minutes of this Chris Chan stream. You missed all of it. You're just gonna have to wait till it's archived. Chris was discovered on something awful thread. Yes, that is true. We aren't living in that timeline. That timeline won't happen because Chris is an autistic idiot in every timeline. No, Chris has been taking female hormones and that's making breasts grow, but most of it is his own fat. Have you seen the interview Chris was in? I want to interview him. No, I haven't seen the interview Chris was in, and I really don't think interviewing him would do any good, but I would talk to Chris. Oh, are you talking about that Internet Dream Lounge? I have seen that. It's just his boobs. Man boobs. He did take some female hormones, so it's not all man boobs. Do you think Chris is going to audition for a role in an upcoming Sonic film? He'll try, but he'll never get it. Chris Chan to not doing Sonichu is what Thanos did to throwing Gamora off a cliff. Oh no.
Infinity War spoilers. Thanos demands your silence. I don't feel so.
Chris has always had thick titties. So if Chris is taking female hormones and dressing like a woman, shouldn't that mean that he want to get with men now? No, he'll never say he's gay. Even though in the comic he said if he went through gender replacement therapy, that would mean that he's gay. He's definitely not gay.
No, he's just after the
Also-
still.
In any other situation, someone could transition and still like the same gender.
God, he gives everyone with autism a bad name, honestly, and that's coming from someone who has autism and putting myself through college currently with better results. Yeah, you don't have to have Bob pay to make you win.
Okay.
Bob Ross,
No, Bob, his dad.
the builder.
The internet carpenter.
R.I.P. Bob. He's in a better place now. Oh yeah, Bob died because the house was cluttered and he was bitten to death by ants.
You can die from ants.
Yes, he was old. The ants killed him. So, Bob partially died because of Chris's neglect.
Ants can.
Chris Chan is the reason why God is afraid of coming back to Earth. What do you think it would be like if he just started new Sonic True comics again? He is starting the Sonic True comics again. He just hasn't finished a single one of them. Someone at my school acts like Chris and posted signs for a GF and he was autistic. Fucking rip on him. People like that need to be made fun of. Fucking idiots. They'll never understand life. Yee damn gays. Yee support the KKK. Lovely Captain Nick 123. Unfortunately, I know that man to a limited extent. Well, we got 5 minutes left till it's an hour long. We've managed to do it somehow, guys.
Prediction on Chris Chan's death. I'm guessing murder by Barb.
I'd love it if his mom killed him. That'd be bitter irony.
I'm just waiting for that to get taken.
That'd be the plot twist.
Against you forever.
I don't care. He is Jesus Christ. Well, I gotta go be there day one to see if it's gonna be funny yet sad at the same time. We need to build a wall around Chris. It's gonna be huge. I'm guessing they're both gonna die from bad health complication. Chris is gonna die because his taint is gonna overtake his whole body. That or he kills Barb. Some people have been guessing that he has, that Barb has a life insurance policy and that he is going to kill her to get it. But I don't know. I don't know if Chris is that dark. We'll have to see how this soap opera plays out.
I don't think he's that competent.
Yeah. His mother will shoot him and she will take the rights to Sonichu from him, make millions of dollars. Run, Sonichu, run to the extreme. Run away from double homicide. I will, thank you, father. Can Chris legally acquire firearms? No, he's autistic. I don't think you can.
But he does live in America, so the possibility's a little more.
No, I think having a mental illness, like, makes you not qualified for firearms.
I know, but it was a joke.
Okay. It might depend state from state, though.
It was a joke because this is America.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, Elliot Roger got a gun, so you do make a point.
You ever realize that
Chris is a disgrace to those with autism, and he uses autism as a crutch constantly. Do you think Chris loves his mother a little too much? No, I think he hates his mother. Like, he neglects her constantly and forces her to do those begging videos.
I think if I remember correctly, there was a drawing made of him where he does stuff to his mother. Like, I don't remember if he.
I don't think that was him. I would have known about that. He did one where it's like, your sisters come for me, but that was Megan.
Alright, yeah.
He even admitted that was Megan. That's what ended his friendship with Megan. Will Chris ever get out of being homeless? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Why don't you back him? I'm not gonna back him. I'm not gonna fucking support that autistic shit. I feel like Bob's rolling against scream right now. I feel it too. I feel the shaking of his coffin. He'd probably give me a thumbs up for this video. You are such a disgrace, Chris. Oh, it's Pride Month. This video is very fitting.
Did you only just realize that?
I just remembered it. I have a giant gay flag flying in the background while saying that he's not a real homo. Ayy. Chris will find you and kill you. Lock the doors.
No offense, but I feel like overpowering Chris Chan is not.
I'll just tip him over. It's like cow tipping. Something that's surprising is that autism and transgender are connected. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that study. I've heard about it. I've heard about troll-induced transgenderism. I don't believe in that study.
Also, I want to bring up just to argue against that. I don't have autism.
Yeah, I've read the study and I don't agree with it. Chris is the reason why autismos get attacked for every little thing. He's one of the reasons. There's other autists out there that make a bad name for autists, but Chris is definitely the number one guy. Like, you're more likely to be trans if you're autistic. That is true. That is true, but that's also true for if you're autistic, you're more likely to be a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog or My Little Pony. It doesn't really mean anything. So why is it that he won't get a job? Because he's a fucking bum. That's why he's calling himself a woman, so he doesn't have to have a job. He'd rather fucking rely on selling shit, and then he's still wasting the money buying shit. Like, go watch my video talking about Chris's finances. The fucking, the video where I'm talking about the homeless saga, and you'll understand that. He had a job at Burger King once. No, it wasn't Burger King. It was Wendy's. Get your shit right, you Christorian fake.
That's
Chris.
ironic, 'cause I imagine Wendy's would mock him if they given the opportunity.
See, that's why I like Clyde Cash. Clyde Cash was like, do your Donald Duck impersonation, and Chris does, and he's like, please stop it, you're scaring me. That's one of my best moments from him. Chris is so weak, even Yamcha could beat him. I agree with you. Guys, stop with the transgender stuff. Let's just talk about something else. No, fuck you. It's shameful that random Instagram thoughts have Wikipedia pages, but Chris Chan does not. Wikipedia is better off without him. Bart, I can beat him with a ring hand. He can beat you with a ring hand too. That's his Sonichu powers. Do you watch Fat Albert, Dylan? No, that show's garbage. I have discovered Chris less than a year ago.
I think they mean the cinematic classic Fat Albert.
No, that shit is garbage.
I mean,
Oh, we've gone over an hour, guys. So yeah.
I don't think Chris Chan doesn't have a Wikipedia page, but he does have the quickie.
Everyone give their goodbyes. I'm gonna say fuck you, Chris Chan. That's my goodbye.
Goodbye there. Yeah.
If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really like this video, then share it. And if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. Wait, I
want to say goodbye.
Okay.
Dylan, I don't feel so good. I don't know what's happening. Dylan, I don't want to go.
we had Dove in this call. We had my friend Kurobe and David. If they want to, I'll link their channels, but they probably don't want to be associated with this. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.